Imagine this. You're sitting at the familiar kitchen table, the one that's been with you for 40 years. The clock ticks steadily. The cup of tea in your hand is growing cold. Outside the window, the world keeps moving, faster, farther, as if it no longer waits for you. Just a few years ago, you were sharp, busy, in control of your life. Today, you struggle to find a word you used to know by heart. And in that moment, you wonder, is this what getting old feels like? Is everything just going downhill from here? The truth is, most people believe that decline after 80 is inevitable, due to bad genes, fate, or simply the passage of time. But that's only part of the story. There are 5 silent yet extremely powerful forces that quietly weaken you every day, and most of us have no idea. The good news is, if you spot them in time, you can fight back and keep your mind sharp, your body strong, and your spirit vibrant far longer than you ever thought possible. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could completely change the way you experience aging. Why most people decline after 80, and it's not just genes or fate. Many people believe aging is natural, weakness is inevitable, it's all in the genes or God's plan. Sounds reasonable, but the truth, bluntly speaking, is different. Genetics only account for about 20 to 25% of the impact on lifespan and quality of life in old age. The rest, over 70%, depends on how you live each day, the tiny habits you control. So why do so many people, even those once healthy, begin to spiral downward quickly after 80? It's not because they were suddenly cursed. It's not because their bodies betrayed them out of nowhere. It's because they unintentionally lose crucial little things: daily social interactions, regular movement, exposure to natural light, a daily sense of purpose. They accept negative changes as normal, without realizing that every small surrender, every small delay, comes at a cost. You might see 2 85-year-olds living in the same neighborhood. One still goes out for morning walks, chats with neighbors, tends to their garden, and reads every evening. The other sits at home all day, watches TV late into the night, avoids moving out of fear of falling, and minimizes social contact out of convenience. The result after just 2 to 3 years? The first may still live independently. The second may already rely on medications, wheelchairs, or worse. The issue isn't age itself. The issue is how we react to aging. You can't stop the clock from ticking, but you absolutely can choose how you move with time. Common mistakes. Many people over 80 start giving up. I'm old. This is normal. I'm tired. Why bother trying? But the truth is, when you stop trying, your body stops fighting too. Aging doesn't mean you're powerless. Your quality of life depends on the very small, repeated choices you make each day. And the good news is, whether you're 50, 60, 70, or already past 80, you can still change course. So what are the silent mistakes most people over 80 make, the ones that slowly weaken them without notice? Let's dive into the first one right now. There's a harsh truth few dare to admit. You don't just need food to survive. You also need people. And I'm not talking about grand parties or full family gatherings. What keeps your brain sharp every day are the tiny, seemingly insignificant interactions. A nod to a neighbor, a brief chat with the cashier at the supermarket, a quick joke with the security guard down the street. When those small moments disappear, you don't just lose joy. You start losing yourself. Here's the scientific truth. Small social contacts regulate the nervous system, reduce stress, and boost oxytocin, the bonding hormone. They're workouts for your brain. Each nod, each casual chat activates regions related to language, memory, and emotion. When you stop interacting, cortisol levels quietly rise. Your brain starts shutting down vital areas for memory and emotion. Your immune system weakens. Your mood spirals downward, slowly but surely, day after day. No injury needed, no serious illness required, just quiet loneliness each day. I once knew an 86-year-old man who lived alone without family nearby. But every morning, he still put on his hat, his coat, and walked to the little bakery down the street. He didn't need to buy anything special, sometimes just a simple loaf of bread. But the important part, he greeted the clerk, joked with the 2 young helpers, nodded to a few familiar faces. Those 5-minute conversations? They were his most powerful anti-aging medicine. And his neighbor, who chose to stay safe at home. He faded so quickly even he didn't realize it was happening. Common mistakes. After 80, many people lock themselves into a safe shell. Going out is too much trouble. Nobody remembers me anyway. They think less moving around is wisdom. In reality, they're letting their brain die slowly, without a sound. Keeping your mind sharp after 80 doesn't require anything grand. Just small, daily interactions. They remind your brain, I'm still alive. I still belong to this world. I still matter. But even if you maintain social connections, there's another silent mistake dragging you down. Fear. Fear of falling. Fear of pain has caused many to unknowingly trap themselves inside a so-called safe cage. In the next part, we'll talk about a dangerous trap. Immobilization from overcaution, the silent killer of vitality you don't even realize is happening. When you pass 80, advice from everyone sounds like this. Be careful. Don't overdo it. Better just stay put. Sounds reasonable, right? But sorry, I have to be blunt. It's exactly this overcautiousness that's slowly killing you. Here's the simple law of the body. Muscles, joints, balance, all exist only if you continuously use them. The moment you stop moving because of fear of falling or fear of hurting, your musculoskeletal system begins to atrophy, day by day, hour by hour. No exceptions, no safety zones. You stop moving to avoid danger. That very immobility creates even bigger danger. Muscles atrophy, right pointing arrow, loss of strength. Balance declines, right pointing arrow, higher risk of falling. Poor blood circulation, right pointing arrow, less oxygen to the brain. Organs slow down, right pointing arrow, digestion. Immunity. Everything deteriorates. Today's tiny fear equals tomorrow's slow death. I once met Mr. Walter, 82 years old. Previously very strong. Just one minor slip on a wet floor, no fractures. No major injury, and he decided. Stop evening walks. Limit going outside unless absolutely necessary. Mostly sit around at home. Moving little. The result? 6 months later. Visible muscle loss in his legs. Walking wobbly like he had lost all balance. 1 year later. Needed a walker. Completely lost ability to climb stairs. Not because he aged too fast, but because he stopped moving, and so his body stopped fighting. Common mistakes. Thinking sitting still means living longer. Reality. No activity equals lost function equals fast track to decline. Being 80 is not the time to stop moving. Yes, you need to be more careful, but you must not stop moving. Adjust how you move, slower, steadier, smarter, but never stop. Just 5 to 10 minutes of light walking each day. A few simple stretches, standing up and sitting down a few times. That's the key to staying off a wheelchair, out of a hospital bed, away from silent decay. The moment you stop moving because of fear of falling or fear of pain, your musculoskeletal system begins to deteriorate day by day, hour by hour. There are no exceptions. There is no safe zone. You stop moving to avoid danger. That very immobility creates an even greater danger. Muscles atrophy, right pointing arrow, loss of strength. Balance decreases, right pointing arrow, higher risk of falling. Poor blood circulation, right pointing arrow, brain lacks oxygen. Internal organs slow down, right pointing arrow, digestion. Immunity. Everything gradually weakens. Today's tiny fear equals tomorrow's slow death. I once met Mr. Walter, 82 years old. Once very healthy. Just after a minor slip on a wet floor, no broken bones. No major injuries, he decided to stop his evening walks. Limit going out unless absolutely necessary. Almost only stay inside, sitting a lot, moving little. The result? 6 months later. Noticeable muscle wasting in his legs. Wobbling like he lost all balance. 1 year later. Had to use a walker. Completely lost the ability to climb stairs. Not because he aged unusually fast, but because he stopped moving. So his body stopped fighting too. Common mistakes. Thinking that sitting still to stay safe will extend lifespan. The truth. No activity equals loss of function equals self-accelerated decline. Being 80 is not the time to stop moving. Yes, you need to be more careful, but you must not stop moving. Adjust your movements, slower, steadier, smarter, but never stop. Just 5 to 10 minutes of light walking each day. A few simple stretches, standing up and sitting down a few times. That is the key to keeping you off a wheelchair, out of a hospital bed, and away from silent decay. Even if you maintain movement, there's still another silent enemy destroying your body from within. And it begins with something seemingly harmless. Artificial light, screen light, room light. In the next part, I'll show you why your body's biological clock is being gradually destroyed, and how you can fix it before it's too late. You think light is just to illuminate the room? Think again. Light is a command to your body. It doesn't just shine on your eyes. It programs the entire way your body operates, from the moment you wake up until you go to sleep. Your body has a biological clock, known as your circadian rhythm. Natural morning light flips the switch for alertness hormones. Nighttime darkness triggers melatonin, the hormone that helps you sleep deeply. Restore your body, and repair your brain. When you're young, your body can balance better. But after 80, the circadian rhythm becomes extremely fragile. Just a small disruption is enough to topple the whole system. The problem is, today, most of us live under artificial light from morning to night. White-blue LED lights on all night. Phones, iPads, TVs shining into your face until you fall asleep. Your body gets tricked into thinking it's still daytime, even though it's dark outside. The result? Not enough melatonin produced. Right-pointing arrow shallow sleep. Poor sleep. Right-pointing arrow brain doesn't recover. Right-pointing arrow memory declines. Hormonal disruption. Right-pointing arrow increased risk of diabetes, depression, dementia. All just because of wrong-timed light. All because of habits you think are harmless. I once met Mrs. Helen, 84 years old. She complained of chronic insomnia, forgetfulness, constant fatigue. She took all kinds of sleeping pills but barely improved. Only when the doctor asked detailed questions. She admitted she barely went outside during the day. At night, she would sit in front of the TV and her phone until 11 p.m. The doctor gave just simple advice. Go out to the balcony for 15 minutes every morning to soak up natural sunlight. Turn off all screens and dim room lights before 9 p.m. The result? After 2 weeks, deep sleep returned. After 1 month, memory improved. Spirit lifted. No extra medications needed. No complicated procedures needed. Just the right light at the right time. Common mistakes. Thinking, I'm old. I can sleep whenever. Wrong. Thinking, TV keeps me from being lonely. Wrong. Wrong-timed light equals destroying the most powerful natural recovery system you have. After 80, light isn't just to see. Light is medicine, the operating engineer of your body. If you want to live healthy, stay sharp, you must respect your biological clock. The simplest ways. Every morning, go outside or stand near a window. Soak up natural sunlight for 15 to 30 minutes. Every evening, turn off or dim bright white lights. Use warm yellow lights. Limit screen time 1 hour before sleeping. But even if you move well, sleep well, have perfect lighting, if you don't release sadness and grief, your body will still decay from within. In the next part, we will dive into one of the most heartbreaking secrets of old age. Buried sorrow, the invisible killer of health. People often think what kills humans after 80 is disease, accidents, or physical depletion. But there is something even more dangerous. And it comes from within. It leaves no bruises. It causes no immediate pain. It just quietly hollows out your heart little by little. It is buried sorrow. It is the losses that were never spoken out loud. It is the wounds you pretend you've forgotten. Let's face the truth. When you're 80, 85, 90 years old, you've already said goodbye to your spouse, your close friends, your beloved family members. You've had to witness those who were part of your flesh and blood leave forever. And society, however polite, still sends you a silent message. Be strong. It's time to get used to it. Stop complaining. Everyone suffers loss. The problem is, sorrow doesn't disappear just because you stay silent. Pain doesn't erase itself just because you pretend you're fine. Unreleased sadness will find its way to reside inside your body. It damages your immune system. It causes your heart to endure chronic stress. It disrupts hormonal balance, disturbs sleep, and weakens your nervous system. It erodes your joy of living, the very thing that keeps you moving forward. George, 86 years old, lost his wife after 60 years of marriage. He did not cry at the funeral. He didn't complain to anyone. He just quietly continued his old habits, but with empty eyes. 1 year later, he lost significant weight. He quit attending the senior club. He suffered chronic insomnia. His mind became foggy, losing interest in everything, not because of old age, not because of illness, but because his heart was weighed down by losses he never allowed himself to grieve. Common mistakes. Believing that silently enduring is strength. Thinking that if you don't speak it out, the pain will just vanish. The truth? Whatever is buried will rot from within. Whatever is suppressed will become a burden that slowly kills you. Sadness needs to be acknowledged, listened to, and released. There is no weakness in saying, "I miss her. I feel empty. I am still hurting." The truth is, if your heart is not allowed to ache, it will no longer beat strongly. You don't need to scream. You don't need to drown forever in sadness. You just need to let the emotion pass through you. Instead of locking it away in the dark, write a journal every day, recalling what you remember about the one you lost. Find a friend, a support group, or a counselor to talk to. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's not surrendering. It's rebirth. But even if you heal your sorrow, if you have no reason to wake up every morning, you are still slowly fading away. In the next part, we will touch the core of happy aging, the gradual loss of daily purpose, and how to rekindle the fire in your heart. Here's a harsh truth few dare to say aloud. People don't die because their heartbeat stops. They die because they no longer have a reason for their heartbeat to continue. When you were young, you had work, family, clear responsibilities. Every morning you woke up knowing exactly what you needed to do. Meals to prepare, documents to sign, kids to send to school, dreams to chase. But after 80, everything changes. Your children have grown up. Your career is over. Close friends are fewer. Loved ones have passed. Your body no longer allows you to do heavy tasks as before. If you're not careful, you wake up one morning and realize you have no reason to get out of bed anymore. And this is the danger. When the mind loses its purpose, the body starts to shut down. No reason to move right-pointing arrow muscles atrophy. No motivation to eat right-pointing arrow digestive system weakens. No excitement right-pointing arrow immune system falters. The body doesn't weaken first and then give up. The body weakens because the heart gave up first. Ruth, 88 years old, living alone, with no close family nearby. Others thought she would decline rapidly. But Ruth did something different. Every Monday, she wrote postcards to encourage lonely elderly people in her parish. Every Thursday, she cooked a small pot of soup and donated it to the nearby homeless shelter. Every afternoon, she stood by the window and waved to the schoolchildren passing by. Nothing grand, no glamorous missions. But every day, Ruth had a reason to get out of bed. A reason to smile. A reason to exist with pride. The result? Near 90 years old, she still walked slowly around her yard. Her spirit sharp, her eyes bright. Common mistakes. Thinking that retiring means retiring from life's responsibilities too. Waiting for someone else to bring you a purpose, instead of creating it yourself. The truth? A sense of purpose doesn't fall from the sky. You have to build it actively. Little by little, every single day. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be consistent. Just one small action each day that makes you feel, I am still useful. My presence still matters. Practical action suggestions. Adopt a small plant and care for it daily. Write letters or call an old friend every week. Teach someone a skill you once mastered, even just over a phone call. Record the memories of your life to leave behind for your grandchildren. You don't have to change the world. You just have to change one small moment each day. And let that moment change you. But even with purpose, movement, proper lighting, and a gentle heart, if you unknowingly lose muscle mass every day, you are locking the door to a healthy life. In the next part, I will reveal one of the deadliest silent killers after 80. The silent loss of muscle, and how to regain a strong body before it's too late. If you think muscle strength only matters for athletes or young people, you're making a dangerous mistake. After 80, muscle mass determines whether you can get out of bed on your own, whether you can walk out the door by yourself, whether you can live independently or become completely dependent on others. And here's the cold reality. Every year after 50, if you don't move properly, your body loses 1% to 3% of its muscle mass. After 80, the rate of muscle loss accelerates dramatically, but it happens so silently you hardly notice. You won't see your arms shrink overnight. You won't feel your legs weaken in just a week. You'll only notice when one day you can't get up easily anymore. You stumble when stepping off the porch. You find your hands trembling when trying to open a water bottle. And once your muscle mass falls below the safe threshold, the collapse chain begins. Loss of balance, right pointing arrow, higher risk of falling. Decreased metabolism, right pointing arrow, increased risk of diabetes. Visceral obesity. Weakened immune system, right pointing arrow, higher risk of infections. Slower recovery. All because of one simple truth. Muscles, if not used, will disappear. A study of 3,000 seniors at Harvard showed those who maintained basic exercises, light squats, sit-to-stand movements, brisk walking, 3 to 4 times a week, had a 40% higher chance of living independently and a reduced risk of falls compared to those who remained sedentary. No need for gym workouts. No marathons. Just small, repeated movements, consistently. Common mistakes. Thinking, I'm old, so being weak is normal. Thinking, exercising at 80 is too dangerous. The truth? Not moving is the real danger. Every time you refuse to move, you're giving up a piece of your independence. After 80, maintaining muscle mass isn't just about being fit. It's about preserving your freedom. It's about ensuring you can still stand, still walk, still live, without anyone having to lift you up. Gentle squats. Stand up and sit down from a chair 5 to 10 times daily. Using the chair for support if needed. Steady walking. 15 to 20 minutes each morning or evening. Even indoors if the weather is bad. Light hand weight exercises. Even a 0.5-liter water bottle works. Lift and lower gently 10 times per arm. Balance exercises. Stand on one foot for 10 seconds. Switch feet. Holding onto a chair or table if needed at first. No need to do much. But you must do it consistently. And you must start today. Balance exercises. Stand on one leg for 10 seconds. Switch legs. You can lightly hold onto a chair or table for support at first. You don't have to do a lot. But you must do it consistently. And you must start today. Even if you move well. Even if your muscles are strong. If you overlook this one factor, all your other efforts might be in vain. Natural sunlight, the vital nutrient forgotten in the age of artificial light. In the next part, I'll show you why lack of sunlight is silently attacking your bones, brain, and immune system. We often think sunlight is only important when we're young, for healthy skin, for outdoor activities. But after 80, sunlight is not just a need, it is an essential medicine. And without it, your body begins to wither from the inside out. No matter how well you eat, exercise, or sleep, the simple truth is this. Sunlight is the primary source that helps the body produce natural vitamin D. Vitamin D doesn't just help keep bones strong. It also impacts immunity, the ability to fight infections, nervous system function, alertness and brain sharpness, mood, reducing the risk of elderly depression. And here's the problem. After 80, the body's ability to naturally produce vitamin D through the skin drops sharply, up to 50% compared to youth. Plus, many elderly people rarely go outside, meaning they fall into chronic vitamin D deficiency without even knowing it. The results? Rapid bone weakening, right-pointing arrow falls. Fractures. Weakened immunity, right-pointing arrow infections more easily. Sluggish brain function, right-pointing arrow poor memory. Higher risk of dementia. A study from the University of California found elderly individuals deficient in vitamin D had more than twice the risk of hip fractures compared to those with sufficient vitamin D. And their risk of cognitive decline increased by nearly 30%. Just because they didn't step outside into the morning sun. just because they lived in dark homes or sat under artificial light all day. Common mistakes. Believing that drinking milk is enough for strong bones. Wrong. Thinking, I'm old, I don't need sunlight anymore. Wrong. No sunlight, no natural vitamin D, no strong immune system or sharp mind. It's that simple. After 80, sunlight is no longer optional, it is a mandatory part of your health prescription. And you don't need to sunbathe all day. Just 15 to 30 minutes each morning. When the sun is still gentle, exposing your skin to natural light, not through a window. If health or environment prevents it, consult your doctor about safe vitamin D supplementation. Open your windows to let in morning sunlight while having breakfast. If possible, sit outside on the porch, balcony, or take a light walk outdoors in the morning. Reduce time spent sitting in dark rooms or under artificial lights all day. Sunlight, if accessed correctly, is the most powerful free ally you have. But all these things, movement, sunlight, purpose, emotional well-being, are based on a deeper root. Do you still feel needed? If the answer is no, all other efforts are just surface patching. In the next part, I will show you why the feeling of being needed is the biggest secret to living healthily and fully after 80. And how you can nurture that feeling, even as the world around you changes. You can eat right, exercise regularly, sleep well, and sunbathe every day. But if deep inside, you believe you no longer matter to anyone, no longer have value to the world, then your body will listen to that belief and begin to shut down. The raw truth. The body doesn't just need nutrition to live. The body needs a reason to live. If every morning you wake up thinking, no one needs me anymore, no one would notice if I disappeared today, then no matter how healthy you look on the outside, inside you have already begun to decay. Science has proven, seniors who feel they are still useful, even in very small ways, live 2 to 3 times longer and healthier compared to those who feel invisible. The feeling of still being valuable activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the system that heals and restores the body. It increases happiness hormones, reduces inflammation, keeps the brain sharp, and the body energized. A 92-year-old man I know makes coffee every morning and delivers a cup to his frailer neighbor. He doesn't do anything grand. He just does one small thing, consistently, sincerely. When asked why he bothered every day, he smiled and said, "Because I am still needed." That feeling, not vitamins or medicine, is what kept him alive, strong, and alert into his final years. Common mistakes. Believing that after a certain age, your existence is just a burden, waiting for others to make you feel useful, instead of creating value for others every day. The truth? You can be a source of light for someone else, even just with a smile, a kind word, your presence. And the miracle is, when you light up others, you light yourself up too. You are never too old to matter. No one needs you to do grand things. They just need you to show up, to be sincere, to stay connected. Volunteer at a community center, library, or church, even just 1 to 2 hours a week. Become a pen pal for someone lonelier than you. Share your valuable life stories and experiences with younger generations. Even simpler, send a text, make a call, or check in with someone every day. Never underestimate the power of small actions. They can save your life, and someone else's too. Now you know the truth. Aging is not a death sentence. It is a silent battle, and you have the power to choose to fight or to give up. In the final part, I will summarize for you the small but mighty habits that will help you live healthy, sharp, and full of meaning after 80. And I will remind you of an extremely important truth. You have much more power than you think. Walk with me, just 15 to 30 minutes each morning, when the sun is still gentle, to let your skin be exposed to natural sunlight, not through window glass. If health or environment doesn't allow, consult your doctor about safe vitamin D supplementation. Practical action suggestions. Open the window to welcome the sunlight each morning during breakfast. If possible, sit outside on the porch, balcony, or take a light walk outdoors in the morning. Reduce the time spent sitting in dark rooms or under artificial lights all day. Sunlight, if accessed correctly, is the most powerful free ally you can have. But all of these, movement, sunlight, purpose, emotional well-being, or built upon an even deeper root? Do you still feel needed? If the answer is no, every other effort is just a surface fix. In the next part, I'll show you why the feeling of being needed is the greatest secret to living healthy and fully after 80. And how you can nurture that feeling, even when the world around you changes. If you've walked with me this far, you already know, old age is not the end. Old age is a crossroads, where every small decision you make each day determines how you will live, fading quietly, or shining brighter once again. You know that small interactions, a greeting, a smile, can nourish your brain. You understand that proper movement preserves your freedom, not burdens you. You realize that natural sunlight doesn't just warm your skin, it saves your nervous system, immune system, and mind. You see that sorrow must be released, not hidden. You understand that a life purpose, even a small one, fuels the coming years. And you know that you need to feel needed, because your value doesn't disappear just because your age increases. You have much more power than you ever thought. The power to choose to walk an extra 5 minutes today. The power to open the window to welcome the morning sun. The power to pick up the phone and call an old friend. The power to rewrite the story of your old age. No one can take that power away unless you surrender it. So today, what do you choose? Will you choose to sit and wait for the decline? Or will you choose to fight for each fuller day of life? Will you choose to dim, or will you choose to shine? And light up those around you? The choice is yours, right now. If this video has sparked something in you, a thought, a feeling, a decision, please leave a comment below. I choose to live proactively. We want to hear your story. Because this journey, whether you're 60, 70, 80, or 90, still holds many new chapters waiting for you to write. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your loved ones. Because sometimes, a small idea can save an entire life. Thank you for joining me. We will meet again in the next journey.